Hello Jeep fans, Steve Blankard here again with another update on the Dana 18 transfer case that I've been working on. It's Sunday, snowy day here in Fredericksburg, Virginia, so after I took the air warden Jeep out for a ride this morning and plowed the driveway, I started working on the transfer case again. So I'm pretty close to as much as I can do right now until I get an intermediate shaft from Novak. So anyway, let me follow up where we left off yesterday. I was working on getting ready to shimming the rear bearing cap here. So this morning I went ahead and reassembled it. I took the bearing shims and I coated them with some copper coat sealer. There's 3 of them in here for a total of 87 thousandths. And I torqued them, assembled the whole emergency brakes assembly on it, torqued the bearing cap down to 30 foot-pounds, and I measured my end play, and I've got about 5.5 thousandths of end play on that, which is good. I started out with 4 thousandths before I put the copper coat on. I knew that would grow it a little bit, so I'm pretty happy with 5.5 thousandths end play. That's well within the spec. So then I started assembling the other things. I got the seals put in at both ends, and I showed you the seal driver I made yesterday. That worked great. Set them right in. I'm using that double lip seal with the machine bushing behind it to space a little bit. Put a little sealer on the gasket that goes behind the seal, and then put some seal around the outer edge of the seal also. And then on the splines, when I put the yokes in, I used a little bit of RTV on the yokes themselves. It's the only place in the transfer case I've used RTV. I'm really not a big fan of it because it can break loose and things, but I did use a little bit on the splines. Now, once I got it all assembled, got the parking brake on, I got the yokes in place, I wanted to show you my monkey wrench here. This is what I use, and it works really good for holding the yoke so I can tighten the big nut here in the back and at this end also. So this is a monkey wrench that I have, not to be confused with a pipe wrench. It's got flats, just flat jaws on it, and it fits perfectly onto the sides of the yoke. So this one I happen to have a bar welded at the other end for extra leverage, and it works really good for holding the yoke in place while I'm tightening down the nuts. I torqued the front one to 110. The rear one, I couldn't quite get it torqued. I just couldn't hold, without any help, I couldn't hold the wrench and hold the transfer case and get it torqued all at the same time. So I'll have to wait to get some help over here to hold this end down, and I can get this end torqued. If it's installed in the vehicle, then you can torque it. You can lock the gears and torque it. So the end play is all set. Basically the main assembly is all done. The only thing remaining to do is to install the intermediate gear, and I'm waiting on the new intermediate shaft from Novak to come in. So I'm pretty much at a standstill at this point. One thing the Novak makes, their intermediate shaft has O-ring grooves to seal inside each end here in the casting. So I've got the O-rings that go in it, but I just don't have the shaft yet. But I'd like to hear from anybody who's used those the O-ring intermediate shafts. If it's been successful for you, chime in the comments. Let me know. I'm kind of curious to see how well it works. I did very carefully chamfer the holes here going in. I'm sorry, it goes in from the front here, and I did chamfer it. I'm sorry. Goes in from the back, my mistake. I chamfered the entry holes at both sides so it wouldn't tear up the O-ring, but I'd like to see if anybody's used it successfully. So that's where I'm at. Oh, I did put the little seals in for the shift rods here. I used a piece of conduit. I think it's like 1-inch conduit that fits perfectly over it. That worked really good for seating those seals in place also. So I'm pretty much done as much as I can do until I get the intermediate shaft. So, but so far it's come together pretty well, so I'm pretty pleased with it. So that's it for right now. If you're working on a project, just do a little video. Show us what you're doing. Sure appreciate it. I learned from watching what you guys do also, so let's share it. So if you're not driving them Jeeps, working them Jeeps. All right, take care.